Bahamian flavor spicing up World Expo 2020 in Dubai. Here at home, though, there's been quite a bit of criticism about the size and selection of the contingent. But what are the real possible benefits of being in Dubai? Well, my special guest is the Bahamas ambassador to the United Arab Emirates and the state of Qatar, His Excellency Tony Joudi. Welcome to the Reid Factor, Ambassador.
Thank you, Mr. Reid. I greatly appreciate, and it's an honor to be there with you on the TVs and us.
Great. Well, tell us, what is the feeling like in Dubai? We know that yesterday was what they call the National Day for the Bahamas. What is the feeling like right now at the Bahamas Pavilion?
It's a great feeling on both sectors, actually. The public sector is ecstatic because the Prime Minister have signed few agreements, which is beneficial for the country. And second, the private sector also is very ecstatic because they got to showcase their talent in Dubai, which is, it's the world stage that gives them input and it gives them flexibility, as well as it gives them what we call exposure to the world. We have 182 countries here right now. So it's a great exposure to showcase your talent and to showcase what it's all about in the Bahamas.
Well, I read that they expect some 10 million people to go through the Bahamas Pavilion by the time you close at the end of March. Is that correct?
Well, we so far Expo, as you know, it was postponed 1 year because of COVID. So COVID had put a little bit of restrictions towards, humanity and trafficking of people in and out of Dubai. So we already have almost about 500,000 people already at our pavilion, which really a great number. Yes, of course, indeed. It's a great number compared to the population that we have in the country itself. We have about 400,000. We've already seen almost, in 3 months, we have seen almost 500,000. So we have 3 months more to go. So I expect maybe another 500,000. So at the end of the day, we have to be realistic. We'll probably see about 1 million visitors to our pavilion.
No, but still, that's quite amazing. This is the first time the Bahamas has actually participated in any of the expos. And I think a lot of Bahamians still aren't absolutely clear as to what the expo is about and what it offers. You care to give us a little background about that, please?
Sure. As you know, or maybe know, that the Expo started in 1850 when Prince Albert of England have decided to showcase London and England and to the world. So he decided to go and hire one of the top architects to design a World Expo to promote the Industrial Revolution in England at the time. So that's where it's all started. And from then, a body was created to organize expos every 5 years. So Expo really is like the Olympics of Olympics, as we call it. It's something to showcase the world in this event. And it attracts a lot of inventors, it attracts a lot of salesmen, it attracts a lot of revolutionaries, whatever you want to call it, industrialists, you call it whatever it is. So that's what this Expo is all about. And then they created the city called Hyde Park. And then after a while, they probably attracted at the time 12 million spectators, which is really a good number at the time. So Expos is nothing but a place where inventors really come and showcase their inventions. So you got, for example, the Chicago, the Columbian, we call it the Columbian Expo in the early 1900s. And at the time, that's where electricity was promoted and invented. The AC/DC current, G Electric and other companies were created at the time to showcase, and that's where the light started, So that is, and then you got the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and then you got the flat screen TV, you got the ketchup, tomatoes, and tomato ketchup, whatever. And so this is the place to showcase what you're all about, what your inventions are all about, and what you are trying to promote to sell whatever you have in your country.
Right. So innovation, technology, and investment, those are the key things. Now,
you got it.
Dubai, of course, is a very forward and progressive city. Emirates as well, the Middle East generally, really. And particularly, I think, in areas now, they're moving more into renewable energy sources. Is that something that we might be looking at as far as technical assistance? We know that at least 2 have been signed so far. those renewable energy aspects, is that something we're looking at as well?
Well, just to give you a hint a little bit, I met with the chairman of Emirates yesterday, actually, along with Minister Mitchell. And he told us that they had almost 90 million visitors in 1 year. 90 million visitors in 1 year. That's a huge number for Dubai, that to be a hub like that. So when you have this kind of number coming into the country, you need to satisfy at least more than 50% of them. So Dubai is considered as one of the greatest nations in renewable energies. And just to take you back a little bit, 3-4 years ago, we in the Bahamas, we received a $5 billion grant from Dubai. That's where we started the solar power park at UB, if you remember.
Absolutely.
And that took a little bit of publicity. So they really started with us about 5 years ago, and we just continuing on the path to further accommodate more and more renewable energy. So whether it's solar, whether it's electric energy, whatever it is. So we are continuing the path for greater input and greater success for our nation. So Dubai is not, they have the largest farm of solar power in the world right now. It's in the desert. It's in the middle of nowhere. So they are really high into it, and our ministers coming here to learn and educate themselves more and more and sign certain agreements, technology agreements and AI agreements, and not just renewable energy, but all kind of things that we innovation and crypto and all that stuff. It's really the place to be.
Definitely a great partnership to have with the Emirates. And the government of Emirates, what interests do they have specifically in the Bahamas? What benefit do they see from the Bahamas?
Yeah, they love the Bahamas because of many things. Okay, I'm just going to mention a few things that they really like. Number one, the people of the Bahamas. We are very hospitable. We attract about 7 million tourists every year. That has a big impact on us because we are very hospitable and gentle and very accommodating people. That's number one. That's our biggest, what we call it, deposit in the bank, what we call it. Okay, our biggest deposit, our biggest asset is our people. And they love our people. They came here and they showcased in the pavilion the hospitality and the smile and all of that. So really, they really like us a lot. That's number one. Number two, what they like about the Bahamas, we speak English. Okay, they don't have to translate to go through translation. Number three, the location where we are to the US. So, it's a great asset to be located where we are. And there is many factors. And then, of course, the sun, sand, and sea, and all of that. It's not that they don't have it, but what we have is really a unique feature that we have the clearest water in the world, as described by the astronauts, So there are a lot of assets that the country have, and it's easy to satisfy. We're only 400,000 people. We're not looking for millions of people. And we are highly educated. So and then financially, and the infrastructure is already built. So they don't have to go from scratch. All of that is found in the system and found in the country.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me so far from people who visited the Bahamas Pavilion, have there been very serious requests about what possible private partnerships they could actually begin?
But I'm going to be frank with you. A lot of them who visited the pavilion, they didn't know what the Bahamas is. So this is really a good thing for us because we can educate them. We can tell them where we are, what we do, what we eat, what we drink, what we're capable of, So the Bahamas Pavilion serves as an instrument of education to the public that does not know or do not know where we are located or what we do for a living. So it acts as a factor, a great factor for education. That's what it is. And how they will come up here is we inviting them to come and see the Bahamas. We are, giving them flyers, educational tours. And of course, the Bahamas Pavilion consists of four zones, which we'll discuss probably later.
Absolutely, and of course our Prime Minister is there, and we've all been seeing on social media wonderful photos of him participating in the activities there. His meetings have been going quite well, I understand.
Exceptionally well. I mean, he's a businessman, as you know, and he's capable of closing a deal. He's a closer, I could tell you that. And so far, so good, thank God. He's done well, and he's going to do well. And this is, I call it a historic mission. Never, ever happened a prime minister of the Bahamas that ever visited the Middle East. And he's chosen the UAE to be the first country to do business with. That is a mammoth job, a mammoth project, a mammoth achievement.
Ambassador Joudi, if you could explain for Bahamians as well, we know the massive wealth that there is in the Middle East and, of course, especially in UAE and Qatar, but I think they may not understand all of the possibilities that there are that Dubai itself offers in different forms of business. You care to give us a little bit more information as far as that's concerned, please?
Well, Dubai is a very diversified country. Whatever you look for, it's here. The visionaries of Dubai, or the leaders of Dubai, really were instrumental in bringing this country from a desert 20 years ago to where it is today. And to do that in such a short period of time, it does take leadership, it does take bold vision, it does take bold action, and they've done it. So anything you could think of under the sun, it's right here. So it's all in one market. So somebody wants to do banking, it's here. And they just liberated some of the rules that, that sometimes choke you down. So they opened up the country. For example, I could give you just one example. They just created the weekend. It used to be Friday and Saturday, and now it's Saturday and Sunday. So that's a great thing because it ties up with the New York Stock Exchange, it ties up with the European civilization and the Western civilization. So they're really opening up big time, and that we should take advantage of because it will alleviate a lot of problems that we could think of in the future. Because when we start negotiating and we're negotiating on the same standards, we can accomplish certain things. They're really open-minded. A lot of people think you are in the desert. We're not in the desert. We're the most sophisticated country on earth, the most secured country on earth. Somebody go out at 2 o'clock in the morning, nobody would even say hello to them. They just go and walk and shop and do whatever they want. So it's really a good, safe country, and I give it high marks.
Good. Now, you have been the ambassador for about 4 or 5 years now, at least, I think, eh?
Since 2016.
26, yeah, about 5 years. Great. And obviously, you know the region. You're originally from the region, but how difficult has it been to actually build a bridge so far? I mean, obviously, this is the Expo is a critical part of what you've been doing, but how much growth have you seen between our two countries?
Well, we got stagnant because of COVID for a while. Let me be frank with you, But now we're seeing a push up again. We're seeing things start to move again. Tomorrow we have a meeting with Emirates, just so you know. But I don't want to preempt things for the Prime Minister. But things is moving in the right direction, and I'm sure between now and the end of the year, we could see some great progress that our country is doing here. And they're very hospitable people. They are very, very hospitable people. I mean, the generosity of this country is impeccable. I could tell you that. And once you come here, and I mean, a lot of people that work in the pavilion, they don't want to go. They don't want to go back because they love it. They say, But I say, no, man, you gotta go back. So we have about just so you know, we have about 60 right now residents from the Bahamas that living and working here. A couple of them work for Emirates Airlines.
Right, you actually touched on what I was going to go to next, because Bahamians have been going to and living in Dubai for several years now, not just recently. Yeah. We have to take a break, Ambassador Joudi, but we'll be back with more. Stay with us. We're talking about World Expo in Dubai with the ambassador for the Bahamas. Welcome back. We are speaking with Ambassador Tony Joudi, who is the Bahamas ambassador to the United Arab Emirates. And of course, he is in Dubai, where World Expo 2020 is going on. Ambassador, just before the break, we were talking about Bahamians who are actually in Dubai, living and working. And you said there are about 60 right now?
Yes, true. Actually, just during COVID, when COVID started, Ministry of Foreign Affairs went on a task to start locating Bahamians just in case. And we were able to locate about 16. So we did lock down the numbers with contacts and everything, just in case you never know, you know.
Great.
So now I'm told that we have about 60.
Wow.
Most of them, they work in different, of course, areas. Some of them in the hospitality business. Some of them, we have a doctor here, a surgeon. We have also, like you said earlier, a couple pilots. So they work in different industries. And they love it here. They are making good money. They paid well. And they just love it because you have so many cultures. You know, if you look at I mean, I'm a thinker of openness. I'm not somebody who likes, you know, to be claustrophobic. And one hand alone cannot, you know, you cannot clap. You need two hands to clap.
True.
So I'm always saying that the way they think about running this country is an amazing way. And I think we should copy, in a way, part of it, not all of it, but part of it which suit us. You know, we take the good and keep it, and we take the not good and we just keep it away, you know. So you have about 10 million people living in Dubai, 10 million.
Wow.
And expats in Dubai roughly represent about 90%. 90%. So it's another economy that sustains the whole infrastructure of economy. When you hire 9 million people, these 9 million people, they're gonna have jobs, right? So they're gonna have to pay money for car, for insurance, apartment. So that's a parallel economy running against with your main economy. So billions of dollars is being created out of the expatriates. So when I look at our country and see that we're shutting out expatriates, that doesn't mean, you know, that we should be scared really, because you don't know what's going to happen. Some of them, they bring the talent. Some of them, they bring the investment. We should be open. This time and era, I always say this, you got to be flexible. I mean, this is my opinion. This is only my opinion, not as an ambassador, but as a person in life. You have to be open and you have to accept, you know, things as they come to you. And like I said, you take the good and you leave the bad out of the whole spectrum of things. But we should start thinking for the future. We have kids, we have grandkids, we have climate change that we are facing right now. We got all kind of obstacles that facing us and we're facing them. So what do we do right now? What do we do? The reason we are here in Dubai is start looking for avenues to start sustaining our livelihoods. You know, in 50 years, if we keep on the same path, our Bahamas will be gone. So we need to start looking for solutions from now. Like the Prime Minister said earlier in the COP in Glasgow, England, you know what he said? He said, in 50 years, if we don't do anything and don't take any action against climate change, we will be immigrants somewhere in the world. And we don't want to do that. We need to find a place for our kids to grow and to sustain themselves. And not only that, but we need to create something that will generate income. So we could sustain ourselves, we could be resilient. We don't know every 2-3 years what's going to happen. We have hurricanes, we have floods, we have tides that coming up. So we have to be able to face all these difficulties. How do we do it? We have to be open to the world, to new markets. We can't just sit and expect things to drop in our laps anymore. We can't do that. That maybe in the 50s, in the 40s, but not anymore in this 21st century, because the competition is fierce.
Absolutely, and Dubai is the perfect blueprint for progress and change, and fairly rapid progress, as you pointed out, over the years. Tell us now, because you know you had different cultural shows, etc., but how did the people of Dubai actually react to Bahamian cuisine? I understand you had a conch salad maker there. How did they react to our type of food?
Well, before I go into that, we had few shows. We have a Junkanoo show, we had a police band, and I tell you, all spectators, everybody was shaking and moving and dancing. They were so excited. The contingent we had here in the Bahamas, I would consider it one of the biggest contingent that ever happened in any expo. We showed what the Bahamas is made of. We told the world who we are and what we do. We are proud of our people. What we do is the best thing we can do. And, it, I was very proud. I could tell you that tears came out of my eyes when I started seeing, I'm not kidding you, when I start seeing those events that's happening and everybody shaking and dancing and this is the Bahamas. Welcome to the Bahamas, and it's a great show and advertising tool for the country. Because you got 180 countries there. You got people from all over the world, not just people from Dubai. You got people from all over the world coming to watch you. You don't need to go to them, they're coming to you. That's the difference.
So really, as I started, we were saying, what are the real possibilities of real benefits? I guess they're almost endless. Would you say that?
They are. They are because what we're doing right now, as you know, the pavilion itself consists of 2 floors. Let me just give you a brief description on the pavilion so you could understand. The building is consisting of 7,500 square feet. That's 2-story, and it was donated actually by the UAE. We were a participant, and they gave it to us as a gift. The building and whatever inside it, it was given to us as a gift from the UAE, which will be delivered back to them at the end of March. So we utilized and maximized on the profitability of this building. We created an embassy for business on the 2nd floor, which we call it B2B, business to business, whereby Ministry of Tourism going to come sometime in March and holds their briefings and their business ventures that they have, and also so many things is happening at the business. There's a lot of crypto people coming now. It's the era of crypto. As you know, we come from revolution to revolution, industrial revolution. We had the technology, and we have the internet, and now we have the crypto. So a lot of them now coming to the embassy to do business, meet people, try to do business and connect. The whole scheme of things based on connectivity. And really the theme of things also is called Connecting Minds to Create the Future. That's the emblem of the expo. So we are trying to connect people together. If I'm in a corporation and I want to send a salesman to any of the countries, just let's say I produce pens, for example. I'm a factory that produces pens, right? If I want to send my salesman to go all over the world, you know how much money it costs me to put him up in hotels and send them and pay tickets?
Absolutely.
A lot of money.
Absolutely.
So here it is. We have a place where everybody is to come and see you. They connect via app, and they say, oh, for example, I want to do business in the Bahamas. I want to do, for example, agricultural project. We have it. We have 300,000 tillable acres available that people can produce food for security, produce food to stay in, produce food to sell out. So we have all kind of avenues to make money and to benefit. But we need to move. We need to act. We just can't sit, like I said earlier. We cannot sit and wait because the competition is fierce. Just like how we're looking at things, other countries looking at things. So Expo is really an avenue, and this pavilion creates a tool for us to maximize on our exposure and our connectivity, and let the people know that the Bahamas does exist, and we're open for business. When we were hit with hurricane, the whole thing, everything stopped. So tourism is number one industry for us, right? We all agree on that. There is no ifs or buts about it. But we need also now to diversify on things that alleviate, because this COVID has told us a lot of things and showed us a lot of things, and we learned a lot from COVID. So now we have to think of other factors, like the Reid factor, for example. We have to think of other things seriously. We have to think of other things to make ends meet. And not just ends meet, but to produce more food and more supplies, whether we go into blue economy, the green economy, the orange economy, you name it. We are open for business to do it. And we are happy and delighted to accept any investor that show us that they are credible, and they are capable of joint venturing with Bahamian people.
Well, Ambassador Joudi, we hope that this is the beginning of new jump-starting the economy, we wish you all the best as the World Expo gets ready to close. I think it ends in March, right?
Correct. Now, I'm hearing they may probably extend it another month. I'm not sure, but we'll get the details later.
Great. And of course, we all look forward to the Prime Minister's return and hearing the good news that he might have for us. Thank you very much for joining us on the Reid Factor and for your service.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Good. And we thank you for joining us. Learn as much as you can about Dubai and what's going on in the world as far as innovation is concerned. And we're going to try and help you do that. We'll see you next time on the Reid Factor.